and let's get this baby rocking. So what we're going to do today is we're going to switch back and forth between, this is a Zoom meeting, so it's all open for everybody. I'll spotlight myself. If anybody has questions, we can have you come on and spotlight, but we have a few people that have sent in questions ahead of time. So I'm going to level set real quick and go through a few of the basic elements. And then believe me, we have lots of time. It's a 90-minute recorded presentation today. So you'll have lots of time to ask questions and to take notes. Let's make sure you understand who's going to be presenting this thing. So here's a quick introduction.
In a world where business success is constantly redefined, Ford Saeks has helped companies generate over $1 billion in sales worldwide. From startups to Fortune 500s, Ford is widely recognized as a business growth accelerator. With over 20 years of experience, he has authored several books, been awarded 3 U.S. patents, and received numerous industry awards. Tenacity and innovation are what fuels this revenue-generating powerhouse. From grassroots to Google and beyond, Ford provides his clients with fresh perspectives and doable tactics to resolve marketing, operations, and growth challenges. As president of Prime Concepts Group, founder of the Accelerated Growth System, and host of Fortify Live, Ford specializes in helping businesses solve their biggest challenges and unleash the power of AI innovations. He's an avid cyclist, global traveler, and outdoor enthusiast, channeling his drive for exploration and resilience both on trails and in guiding organizations to new heights. We're happy to have him here with us today. So please, give a warm welcome to Ford Saeks.
Now, so why should you care about this topic? We've all joined this. Most of you have joined this because you've either seen me speak before at maybe a keynote presentation or a breakout or an on-site strategy session, or maybe you just know me in the industry, or maybe you've listened to one of my episodes on Fortify Live. But the reason we're doing the open office hours is because whenever we do the monthly prepared webinar trainings, people always ask, well, I want more time for live demonstrations. I want more time. Well, I want to make sure that we level set real quick and let you know that this is not about technology. This is about business. So the only reason that I care, or you should care, about this topic is if it's going to help you make better decisions and be more productive. And ultimately, when it comes to growing a business, there's only 4 ways to grow. Get more high-value clients, increase the average transaction, increase repeat or referral sales, and then finally, improve operational performance. And AI tools can help you with all that. Now, the next thing is everybody with a laptop is calling themselves an AI expert right now. So while, yes, I claim to be an expert at leveraging practical applications of AI tools, please note that this topic is changing by the minute. There are hundreds of thousands of tools, and by the end of this, there's going to be new tools that we don't even know about that are already going to be invented. So play along today, take notes, pay attention to the timer. You can go back and watch the replay. We are going to make this interactive, but I want to cover some of the basics to make sure everybody's on the same page first. So to make this session effective, please mute yourself when you're not on. You can leave your cameras on. I'm going to go to full screen and we're going to have open discussions. Ask questions, but don't tell me a story. If I ask you a question and you start to tell me the history of the earth since the crust cooled, I'm going to probably cut you off. For those of you that know me, I am definitely going to cut you off. So please don't take it personal. I want to keep us moving. I will have a parking lot that will put things in the parking lot for later. Be engaged, contribute, take notes, and be respectful. The chat is open. Do not cross-solicit. Do not cross-promote. I don't mind if you leave tips and ideas, but please, everybody, do your own due diligence. Don't just take something at face value. Adapt. Don't adopt. All right, so just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, for those of you that have your cameras on, turn your cameras on and give me a thumbs up that you understand the rules. Okay, well, Patricia Fripp, thank you so much. So Douglas and Steven, we got Dennis here. I'll see you next week, Dennis. And hey, my buddy Ed and Linda. So a lot of familiar faces. I'm glad you're all here today. We all have different levels of experience, but we're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to cover a lot of great things. So again, you will have time to ask questions as we get going. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate you being here. All right, next. So here's our agenda. We're going to cover some key concepts. We're going to have a focused Q&A, meaning that we're going to keep it on track, or we're just going to park it and move on to the next topic. We are going to do shared screen interactive demos. That's why I did this as a meeting as opposed to a webinar. And then, of course, the parking lot for ideas that we might want to cover in a future session, or maybe that we'll cover towards the end. For those of you that are newer if this is your first time, you should get off of this call and go watch this video. Go to profitrichresults.com/AI-thank you. There's no opt-in. It goes straight to the landing page. There's a video that's about 60 minutes long on cutting through the hype, dodging the pitfalls to boost your bottom line. It covers a lot of the basics of AI. It might be a good refresher for some of you to go back and watch. I do update this. You can see this one was done in August, so it was just a couple weeks ago. I'll do another one here in a couple weeks as soon as my boss tells me when it's going to be scheduled. There are also copies of all the slides from that presentation. So if you're new and you haven't watched that yet, put that down as an action step. profitrichresults.com/AI-thank you. Next, AI is not going to replace humans, but it will replace humans not using AI. It's so amazing to me that every time I do a presentation, I ask my audience to stand on a scale of 1 to 10, and I judge they rate their level of understanding. And they always rate it higher than it is after I've presented. Their rating goes down. And if there's one thing I know about AI, the more I learn about this subject, the more you can get down the rabbit hole. There are so many cool tools that help you. But the next action step on your list, please do not get seduced by technology. If it's not going to help you expand your influence, improve communications, build your lists, help you get leads, help you get sales, or improve operational performance, which includes your culture, leadership, management, team building, how you communicate, improving the customer experience. Focus on your outcome and work backwards from there. So while we are going to cover a lot of tools today, please keep in mind that you could go in the chat and you could say, well, I like this tool. Great. There's a million tools that will basically do the same thing. And for the next probably 3 years, there's going to be a big influx of new companies. And then the playing field's going to level out and there's going to be some winners at the end. So no one can predict exactly who the winners are going to be. Certainly not me, and certainly probably not AI for the time being. So here are the main questions, the main areas of focus that when I did the pre-event surveys that people asked for. They wanted to know about how to prompt and how to use best practices with AI and AI tools. They wanted to learn how to use AI to create marketing content and communications, how to improve automation and efficiencies, personal productivity, data and decision-making support, because AI can reason now. The new version of ChatGPT 1.0 is out and it's kind of crazy. And then professional development. How do you use AI to just improve how we do what we do in our roles? And then what are some AI tools that we can all benefit from that are more specified than just the large language models? So you're going to be looking at this today through your role and your level of experience. Please keep in mind, we have franchise brands, we have other experts on the call, we have authors, we have entrepreneurs, we have EO members. I'm a member of Entrepreneurs Organization. We have associations, association execs. We have a wide eclectic group, and please keep in mind that their level of experience is all different. So the chat is open, but please be respectful of the chat while you're doing that. Don't cross promote or solicit. So I was on the phone the other day with my mastermind buddy Ankit from EO, and we were talking about, AI and how we're both very involved in AI and AI tools. And he reminded me of Boyd's Law, which is a law that I understand. And Boyd's Law in general says the speed to iterate is better than the speed for quality, than the quality of iteration. So the point is, learning and failing and using AI is more important than waiting for it to be perfect. So I'll just translate that. And so the quote I used to use before Boyd's Law was, the greatest risk with AI isn't adopting it too soon, it's waiting too long and falling behind. So wherever you are right now in your journey of AI, whatever your role is, keep in mind that there's tools out there that you can start using today. Go ahead and watch that video. If you joined late, I'm going to back up a slide for a second. I got to move the Zoom screens out of the way for just a moment over to that monitor. Let me jump back here for just a second. We still have people coming in. So if you joined late, just want to remind everybody, if you joined late, write this down as a bonus video to go watch. Some of you probably have already watched it, which is why you're here, because this is the advanced of that. But if you didn't watch that previous one, It's a great 60 minutes. It's quick. It's relevant for everybody on your team. You can share it. There's nothing to opt in. That's the thank you page. So you can just go to profitrichresults.com/AI-thank you, and you can go right to it. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the things just so that the people hang around are like, well, great, Ford. I've heard all this before. You haven't heard this part. So I'm just going to bring this up on the screen. These are some of the areas that we're going to talk about today. Large language models, robotic processing and automation. That's level 2. Level 1 for everybody is just learning how to use ChatGPT and how to make a prompt. And then how do we use prompt with other programs? And then what specialized programs can we use? And then workflow automations. So again, quick repeat. Using ChatGPT, that's level 1. Understanding how to make effective prompts in ChatGPT. Then, how do you use effective prompts with the other large language models? And then from there, which are on the screen right now, you've got Copilot, Claude, Gemini, and Meta are the large language models, like the big brains. And then, of course, after that level, there are specific tools, like several of it I have listed here on the screen. And then there are workflows, which we're going to be talking about workflows. So for those of you just joined, this is being recorded. You can go back and you can watch the first 15 minutes after the recording, but we're going to keep going. Now, I'm not going to go through this list right this second, but we're going to come back to this list, and these are the categories. So workflows, content tools, audio and text to speech, AI-powered video. There's some really amazing video tools right now that you can use to improve your current videos, to create video content, to repurpose video content, and to edit. I mean, there's just some amazing things out there. We'll take a look at those. And then text to images. Those tools are popping up left and right now where you can just put in a prompt. I typed in a prompt, a rhino riding a gravel bicycle in the Flint Hills of Kansas, and it gave me an image. So it's pretty crazy. So these are just some of the topics that we're going to go into. And this is for you to take notes and then come back and say, well, I want to know more about this particular question. And then these are the other ones that we're going to go through. So we have AI note takers. So for example, one of the things that I use it daily. I have a little device called Plod, and it sticks right on the back of my phone. And if I click the little switch up, then it can record on my phone. So I can record a phone call. And if not, it's a great little AI recorder. It summarizes it, gives me mind maps. And again, we'll dive deeper into that. Writing content, I used Quillbot and Jasper and Grammarly and Copy AI way before any of the large language models were made available to everybody. How do we manage our email? How do we improve role playing? How do we help using AI to help us get leads? And what do we use for planning? And by no means is this a comprehensive list. You can just Google. You can just go to Google and say top 24 or top AI tools for 2024. You're going to get 100 lists. There's all these lead magnets that people have created because they're all trying to compete for the traffic to get you to use their tool, right? So remember, if you've joined late, this is about business. This is not about technology. Be thinking, how do I attract high quality clients or customers or members or donors or whatever your business model is? How do I increase the average transaction? How do I add more value, right? And then how do you get repeat and referral sales? And then how do you improve operations? So I know some of you joined late, so I'm just level setting. We're almost done with the level setting part. So we're going to be focused on these 3 areas: marketing, sales and operations, and the customer experience. And this is just a quick review. We got like 2 more quick slides, and then we're going straight into the group meeting here. So there are large language models that are the brains, and then there are the derivatives of all these programs that tap into those large language models. If you're not clear on the tools, this is your second link. Go to profitrichresults.com/AI tools. That's not a list of every single tool that's available. Those are for the main tools. If you're already on a level 2 or 3, 4, or 5 in your learning curve, you've already got the tools. But one of the suggestions I would have is have you downloaded the tool and use it on your mobile device. That's really important. Put it on your mobile device. We are going to dive deep today into workflows and automation, and we're going to focus on Zapier, which is central.zapier.com, and make.com. So that's the more advanced things. That's why we're having this session as opposed to the beginner session that I had on the other one. AI is multimodal. Again, we're just level setting. I'm right on time. I got a minute left here with the level setting. Multimodal basically just means, look, AI is not just type in text and get text. It's audio, it's video, it's print. It can deduct, it has reasoning, it can see, it can hear, and it can speak. So it's multiple methods and multiple methodologies. We all know the bad side of AI, right? The bad robots. It's bias. It will make things up. It will lie, and it will hallucinate. So be very careful as it relates to that. I think I'm just going to stop there for right now. I will say, I'll show one more slide, and it's this one for security. So whenever we're talking about AI, people are always concerned about security and ethical considerations. There's data privacy, especially if you're a business. There's regulatory compliance. Again, I just mentioned the bad robot with bad biased responses, data security, and then of course it needs human oversight. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and remove the spotlight. We are all here on Zoom. I'm going to go ahead and throw the rules up one more time for those of you that might have come in late. So I'll just put that up full screen. Please mute when you're not speaking. Ask questions. Don't tell me a story. I will interrupt you. You can engage and contribute. Be respectful. Don't abuse the chat, and no self-promotion there. So welcome everybody to Ask Me Anything Q&A. So you can turn your cameras on, and we can just go from there. So who'd like to ask the first question? And again, I've got plenty of tools I can go through. If I don't have questions, I'm just going to jump into some of the most popular questions and the tools that I have. Okay, so Stephen. All right, so Stephen, go ahead and unmute and just go ahead and ask me your question. I'm going to leave us in a team format for right now, and if we get too many people, I'll switch it.
Yeah, it's a three-part question, if that's all right.
Sure.
Okay, so first is creating a new restaurant concept, how to effectively use AI to help build the concept. I've worked with ChatGPT and have started working in that. I've tried Gemini and Copilot. That's the first part. The second is how to then connect sources into it to help it understand better direction, to give you better output. And then the third part is video creation to help build a social media presence as you're opening a new concept.
Okay. So please keep in mind, these are not all inclusive answers. That one question could take a whole 90 minutes. So I want to give you directions to go as opposed to absolutes. Remember, this is about how we think and how we think about thinking about AI as opposed to, okay, there's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
So first things first, Stephen, your first part of your question was, how do you use AI to help you with ideation and the concepts? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
So what I would do is I would ask AI that question. I like to use AI as my coach to help me create and use AI. Number two, I would create a very explicit prompt, and I would take that prompt and I would put it into the other tools. So I would start by putting it into ChatGPT, but keep in mind that the main tools, let me put this back up on the screen, find the slide, and here we go. So I'll just push this full screen for just a moment. So what I would do, Stephen, is I'd get your prompt together, and I'd get your list and make it extensive. You could even do it in a Word document. Then you can always upload a document. Then I would go to ChatGPT and I would go to Perplexity. Those are the two that I first start with for far as research. Now they're changing all the time. I think that Gemini, which is Google's AI tool, will eventually, I believe that Google will probably come out on top. But right now, I get poor answers and I don't get full answers. Some people might get better answers, but I like to go to ChatGPT, Perplexity. If I'm writing content, then I use Claude. And then, of course, for any Microsoft products that I might be working in, if I'm trying to work in Excel or PowerPoint or Word or Access, I will use Copilot. So the first thing is to go ahead and create your prompt and keep working it with a multiple complex conversation. Do not treat it like Google. Give me a concept for a new restaurant. have it help you with all the aspects. So first, create the prompt, and then in your prompt, this is important, in your prompt, you want to say, ask me questions so that you fully understand my ideal customer, my revenue model, and my customer experience. And then that way it'll act as your coach to help you give it the information it needs. Now, that's the first part of your question. The second part of your question was, well, how do I give it more information? Well, ChatGPT and all of them, we're talking about having subscribed membership. So you pay the $20 a month for the membership. Then you can upload documents and you can upload PDFs. You can't upload video and have it transcribe or do the video yet. I think that's coming, but you can add PDF documents, company documents in any language, and then that can help you. Or you can add sample documents from competitors and say, I don't want to plagiarize or compete with this. I'm competing with this company. Could you help me? So it really, what I'm hearing is comes down to the prompt, taking that information and then moving that information over to a Word document. Because after so long in an AI tool like ChatGPT, it will start to lose focus and it'll start to forget things. So the more you can move that over to a finished document, and then you can use that document the next time you start a new thread. Now, a level 2 would be to consider looking at GPTs. So a GPT is a customized version of custom instructions. So if you create a GPT related to your topic, and I'll show you where we can do that. Let me go ahead and open up the browser right now and make sure my email's not.
You suggest starting a new chat for every question or just continuing the same thread? Because you said it loses focus.
Yeah, I think you want to take the content when it starts to lose focus. That's when you need to say, okay, it's starting to forget what I'm doing right now, and I need it to go back and start over. So that's where GPTs come in, because it keeps the custom instructions. But so if I come in here and we just go to ChatGPT, and so now I'm in the paid version, I've got a subscriber version. When you're in, just go to the upper right-hand corner. Actually, no, go over here and you go to Explore GPTs. You can search for GPTs, so you can put in ideas or new company. And I'm just guessing to see if it has something. I'm sure so there's a mastermind and another one that you could try practicing, because they've probably played around with something related to a brand. Now, I haven't tried this one. This is live. But again, I could use this GPT to masterminds, from mission to messaging to visual identity to voice and tone. So here's exactly what you're talking about. Somebody has created a subset of ChatGPT and they named it Brand Mastermind. Now, keep in mind, do your own due diligence. I've never used this, so I have no idea if it's any good. But you can use theirs, or you can go over here to the top and you can click create. And now in here, you could name it ideation for my new company. Here's the description. Here's the instructions. And then here you can hit upload files, and then you can just upload files, 5-star RFP. There we go. So you can upload files straight into as a response there. So let me go ahead and hop back over here and remove the spotlight. Did that help with the second question?
Yes. Will ChatGPT, can you upload or put in the conversation question websites for it to analyze and look at to use as part of inspiration or data?
I would use that for perplexity. So ChatGPT can access the web, but sometimes it might fail. So you're going to be using, it's like you have a toolbox now with some other tools. You're going to use the tool and try it and use the tool, but between the large language models, you're going to get the responses you want. But keep in mind, everybody, treat it as an expert, but monitor it like an intern. So it's 500 times smarter than the smartest person, but it'll make stuff up. I almost said the wrong word, Tricia. So it'll make things up. So good luck on it. And thank you for the first question. I appreciate the question. All right. So who has another question? Anybody have a question? If not, I'll go through some live demos. I've got plenty of demos. But okay, so Michael, what's your question?
So a couple things. I think of Chat GPT as a petulant teenager. It like you said, it will lie, it will make things up, it will say it can't do things while it's doing things. So what I'm trying to do is get it to compare quotes. So I can get it to learn where the numbers are on the documents. Hey, look here, look here, look here, look here. But it doesn't remember. It it am I wrong on that? Because when I go back into a fresh chat, it it you have to start learning all over again. It won't retain knowledge from one to the other. And then it starts going cuckoo crazy and making up its own numbers and its own figures from and you ask it, where are you getting these figures from these documents? Oops, sorry, yeah, they don't exist. So it
Okay,
knows,
gotcha. I got it.
yeah, so go ahead with that.
All right. So thank you for the question. So in general, in ChatGPT, and I'm using ChatGPT generically, as far as the large language models now, we are going to get to advanced tools, everybody. We're going to show you some third-party tools in some pretty cool things. But to answer these first questions, when you start a prompt in ChatGPT and you start with what's called a new thread, that is one thread. It's one topic. So you can come back to that thread and continue to ask it questions, but I'm not going to go to that thread and ask it, give me 3 ideas for improving the customer experience. And then in the next question, say, can you give me 5 things to eat during lunch that are compliant with keto? I mean, I'm not going to change the topic. Keep each thread with the same topic. And if you start over with a new thread, that's why I was talking to Stephen and saying, copy it into a Word document, because then when you go to start that prompt again, you're starting with training it with the information you want. So if I was a purchasing agent or whatever your role is, and I was trying to compare different quotes, I would tell ChatGPT, I would set it up. Hey, ChatGPT, it's Ford here. As you know, I'm looking for, I'm comparing quotes against vendors. Here are the criteria. I'm going to load them in one at a time. I want you to review them. I want you to pay attention to anything relevant and then give me key insights from it. It will absolutely do that, and it won't hallucinate. It's going to do that. So I haven't seen your documents, but I would say start with a fresh thread and then make sure you're using 4.0. So when you're in here, let's go back here to ChatGPT for just a second and just go back to the main screen. So when I hit, this is a new chat. So you can see here, it's blank. It's ready to go. I can upload, I can connect it to Google Drive, Microsoft Office, or I can upload from my computer. So I can upload all kinds of documents and photos and images, and the same thing with my phone. Now, if I want to go back to a thread, you could see I could go back. I did a AI innovations video the other day. I had a testimonial and I asked it to create a TikTok caption. So I said, I created a montage of photos of me speaking at this UBA event in Chicago. Your task is to create a caption with my hashtags. My name is Ford Saeks. Boom. I have my hashtag. Now, if I want to go back and create another hashtag on the same topic, I would go back to that thread, or I'd go back to whatever the other thread was in there. So the concept is clean threads. It's not that the program won't do it. It's just clean threads is what I would recommend. Now, if you're really going to use something a lot, go create a GPT. GPTs allow it to be already pre-trained. So you can have a GPT for intellectual property. You can have a GPT for customer experience, for rewarding your team performance, for reducing conflict. You can have different presets called GPTs that are designed to perform one task. All right, great question. All right, next person, who's got a question? And again, if we don't have questions, I'll start doing demos, but this is why we're here. We're here to answer questions. So I'm all for it. What is, and some people might be jealous, but shy. You can just say, a friend of mine wants to know, and then ask me a question. Okay, Douglas, what you got?
All right, Ford. First of all, thank you. I want to know, is there a good tool out there that can watch a video and always around sort of teaching or training a topic and create kind of a summary, an introduction, a review, some exam questions, that kind of thing, to take a training video and make it more of like an e-learning piece?
Yes, there is. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up a screen real quick and I'll spotlight myself. So thank you for the question. And you can leave your mic on because I'm going to ask you if you've seen any of these or if you've worked with any of them. Let's pull this up full screen. So when it comes to, well, first of all, let me stop this share for a second. So first of all, there are all kinds of tools right now where you can get your YouTube link or a Vimeo link and you can paste it into the AI tool and it'll transcribe it. And after the transcription, then you can tell it to summarize it. So what I used to do with Zoom meetings is I'd record the Zoom meeting of the client or the strategy call, and then I would upload it to a tool called Saeks.ai, which is a tool that would transcribe the video, and it was a really cool editing tool. And then I would export. So I'll just show it to you real quick. I'll just share the screen since we're talking about live demonstrations. So I'd take the video and I'd come over here to Saeks. And now this is real information, everybody. So, don't anybody, well, you don't have access to it anyway, but so I would take a video. And so like I do Fortify Live. So my team has uploaded podcasts. So they upload the podcast and then they transcribe it. Here's Brad Cleveland. This is a consulting client. Jan Spence is a consulting client. Allison Shapiro, consulting client. So I can take the recording from it. I can put the names in it, and then I can hit export, and I can export it to Microsoft Word. I can rip it to different programs. I can create captions from a video. And so I use Saeks.ai. So we're going to go back here to the home page here. Saeks. And of course I'm logged in so you can see what I have here. But if I was to log out, so it's automated transcription service in 49 languages, fast and accurate. Now there's a million tools that can transcribe. So again, we know there's tools out there. The best tool is the one that you use. Okay. So what I would say is transcribe the video and then go ahead and do the second step, which is based on this transcription, can you pull out the key takeaways and the learning objectives? So what I do with the strategy calls is I'll say, review this transcript. I used to say, give me a summary report. I don't do that anymore because it would leave a whole bunch of things out. So Patricia is a longtime client and friend. I'll just use Patricia. So let's say I'm working with Patricia and her team. I would record the Zoom call. I would transcribe it, take the doc, upload it to ChatGPT, and just say, I have a prompt I can copy and paste. But basically the prompt says, I just met with a high-end consulting client. She's my favorite client. Would you do me a favor and read this transcript and give me a detailed report with categories of key takeaways and action steps on who's going to do what by when, and then write the summary email that I can use to copy and paste. So I tell it to do everything. So it does the summary, and then I say, write the summary for my CRM, and then it puts it into Zoho. Now, level 2 is using make.com. Let me pull this up for a second, put this on the screen. You guys can probably see it in the small video screen, or you can pin me. I'll just leave it in the group view. So I can go to make.com or Zapier, and I can create a workflow that actually does all that automatically. So instead of me manually having to do step 1 and step 2, step 3. So Zapier connects with over 4,000 different technology tools and can integrate and move data back and forth. So start simple, get complicated later. But certainly I would start by transcribing it. And once you figure out the workflow, then go to ChatGPT and say, I need a workflow to do this, and it'll give you the tech stack. And actually you could go to straight, I'm just going to share the screen and go to a demo real quick. Lee, let's go to central dot here. So you can come in here. Now I'm going to log in because I actually have an account. Not Linda's account. Sorry, everybody. This is everybody else's client's account here. Here we go. Go to mine. Okay. So what would you like to automate? Taking a Zoom recording and transcribe it, and then summarizing, getting a detailed report for the client and for my Zoho CRM. See, I'm not having to even do it. I'm just telling it what I want. And so central.zapier.com. And then here's my Zap. Record it. It's going to transcribe it with Sonics, and it's going to do, so I could actually set the whole workflow up automatically without having to do all those steps manually. So at first, you want to walk before you run. You want to figure out how to do it yourself, and then look at tools like make.com. The biggest takeaways from today's should be improve your prompting, monitor everything, use AI to help you deductive reasoning, especially the new AI tool. So when you go into ChatGPT, let's go back here, and not QuickBooks. Here we go, ChatGPT. When you load ChatGPT, you can pick which model you want. And now there's a new model called O1, which I'm not sure why they couldn't name it something different, but O1 has advanced reasoning, and it is spooky. It used to be where, Chat AI was kind of like a toaster that was on autocomplete, right? It just regurgitated content, and it simulated real responses. Now I think it's sentient. It actually is starting to come up with its ways of thinking different than the human brain of how to reason. And so that's the next level of AI alive, in my opinion. And it's here right now. So, that's why we're all here. We're trying to figure out how do we use these tools more effectively. So great question, Douglas. What I would say is first transcribe it and then ask it that workflow, and then go back to AI and say, hey, here's who I am. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's the tech stack I have, and it'll give you the answers. So it should be a very clear to everybody by now. AI is going to replace a lot of jobs, but what it can't replace is the human judgment, the human ethics, the human insights. It can simulate it now, but it can't replace it. And the empathy. And so it's when everybody's going high tech, and I say this in my keynotes, when everybody's going high tech in a business, jumping into AI, you don't want to lose sight of high touch, because customer experience and high touch, face-to-face, eye-to-eye, toe-to-toe, that's where the businesses that don't forget about the high touch are going to have a competitive advantage. So yes, using AI is going to help you be more productive and perform better, but I would also recommend that you don't forget about high touch. So yeah, and you guys can use and you can use the chat. All I ask is that just be respectful and do your due diligence, right? Someone might put something in the chat that might not work either. All right, Linda Krill, nice to see you.
Hello. My question is, I've been using 4.0 for graphics, and I'm writing a book, and I gave it the prompt of, I'd like to have a book cover for this, and I gave some of the characteristics, and I got an illustration that was 80% there. When I gave it a sub prompt and said, make it the colors more cheerful, or to make this one image larger, it gives me a whole new book cover. Is it my prompting that's incorrect, or is it just ChatGPT's limitations?
It's ChatGPT's limitations with that tool. So what I'm going to recommend you do is you look at the screen right now, and you can go to Ideogram, DaVinci, OpenArt.ai, or Midjourney. So down here on the lower side of the screen here, I'll put that full screen. So AI text to images. So ChatGPT will give you some images, but there are different tools that are better designed to give you better imagery right now. And so I would look at Linda using one of those other tools. Canva has AI now in it. So if you have Canva, Adobe has AI in it now. So whatever graphic tool you're using, most likely it's already going to add an AI element, because they want your business. They know that if you can't get it in that tool, you're going to skip and go to this tool. Give you an example. I started out with Jasper, which actually used to have a different name, Juniper.ai, and then it went to Jasper. That was my first AI tool. And then I went to Copy.ai, because again, we're in marketing. We write a lot of copy. And then I went to Quillbot, because Quillbot would paraphrase and rephrase things. And so I was using a combination of Jasper and Quillbot. And then when ChatGPT came out, I kept those other accounts, but then ChatGPT added these features and I canceled my other accounts. And so businesses understand, especially if they're in this space, that if they don't innovate and ideate quickly. That's where Boyd's Law, when I first started the presentation today, speed to iterate, it's a hard word for me to say. Speed to iterate is better than quality of iteration. So if you're trying to make it perfect, you're going to fall behind. But I would use ChatGPT just as a basic, but you're not going to get the quality of imagery that you would do with some of those other ones that are more dialed in. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, great. Who's next? Who's got a question? This is OpenAI. We covered the basics. If you came in late, please keep in mind that you can go to, I'll spotlight this. I'm just doing a quick repeat while you're thinking of your next question, everybody. So you can, if you're new, make sure you go to profitrushresults.com/AI-thank you. It's a 60-minute video with slides on the basics of AI and some advanced features too. But today it's Ask Me Anything. It's OpenAI tools and OpenAI office hours where you can pretty much ask your questions and we're having an open discussion. All right. So Stephen, go ahead. What's your next question? And thank you for asking the question.
Yeah, the ability to build a social media presence and get brand awareness, taking raw, if I'm just in my kitchen creating a new recipe or doing something, and I just use my camera and take a video or a couple different videos, Opus or Descript or another one, what's good to just to upload a couple different raw videos to help create and edit for whether it's TikTok or Reels or something like that?
The two that I use, well, there's three. Okay, so look at the screen right now. I'll make it full screen for everybody. So Cast Magic, Get Munch, Repurpose.io. Descript is a little bit different. What I liked about Cast Magic and Get Munch is it'll help you repurpose your content. So I'll give you an example. Let me stop this, figure out which button to push. I got too many buttons in front of me. You guys should see this setup. It's like a cockpit. I got all these documents in front of me. All right. Brain fart. Here we go. All right. Whoops. Wrong button. All right. So when we do a Fortify episode, we pre-record it. We used to have a guest show up live, but half the time their mic didn't work and it just didn't work. So we pre-record Fortify Live. We broadcast as if it's live using StreamYard. We upload the video to StreamYard. We put in all the descriptions, and StreamYard broadcasts it live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and puts notices on Twitter and a few other places. Once the episode's done, we take the video recording and we put it up in Get Munch. And Get Munch watches the whole episode and then uses AI to transcribe it and to look for keyword-rich content based on our settings to pull out segments that we can use for social media. So when this presentation is over, yes, you're going to get all the access to the replay. We will take this replay, we will put it into Get Munch, and we will look for segments that make sense to put together. Obviously, if I'm doing a Zoom call with a bunch of faces, if you're in the witness protection program, sorry, you're on screen. But we're going to take segments of it. But typically, I don't do it from an open office hours, but I would do it more from a presentation where I'm full screen and, or I'm talking with a guest. Like if I have a guest, like my last guest we recorded was Julie Lee. So you can see what the screen looks like there. So the point is, use these tools now to save you time. Done is more profitable than perfect. You can, so if it watches let's say I did a keynote for UBA, an insurance company, on AI, and I recorded the whole thing. I can take that video up there, say I want snippets to position me for social proof and credibility and to help me get high paid keynote fees. My keynote fees, $25,000. That's not high. I've got clients of mine that are $125,000. So it's a lot more than 2,500, but it's not that. I'm not saying it because, oh, wow, look at how much money I make. It's not true at all. So using AI helps me stay current, timely, topical, and relevant. So you have to remember that people have such short attention spans in social media. And even if you post something, you can have 50,000 followers and only, when it first posts, 500 are going to see it. And if you don't get a bunch of comments and a bunch of interaction and people don't watch it or engage with it, it only goes to 500 people. But if you can get engagement, well, then it goes to 1,000 people. You get more engagement, it goes to 10,000 people. So these algorithms get triggered based on the quality of content and the interaction based on the algorithms. So it is the type of thing where you want to use tools like GetMunch, Repurpose.io, and Descript to repurpose your content, to title it and tag it. So I use ChatGPT or AI tools to write descriptions, to write headlines, to create YouTube tags, to create YouTube chapters, all those different things you can use AI for. So thank you so much. All right, Kevin, what's your question?
Hey, Ford, I've got limited connection here, so I hope I don't drop off. I also put this question in the chat. Notebook LM has this podcast feature, which is just new. Is there any other comparable sites that could allow you something like that, but you could edit it, because Notebook LM does not allow editing that podcast feature?
So are you trying to edit a podcast? I'd use Descript. I mean, what's nice about Descript is it's text-based editing. So you'll know from listening to me speak now for 47 minutes, I use connectors. I say so, and you know. And then when I watch the replay, I'm just, oh, why am I saying all that? Well, I can go into AI tools and say, remove all my filler words, and it takes them all out. And so what, as I say it again, now it's going to be conscious of it. What I would do is I would check out Descript is what I would use. Or just go into Google and type in AI editing tool for podcast. Now, I will say when it comes to podcasting, Adobe has a great feature called podcast.adobe.com, and you can upload an audio and it will clean the audio up. So you can have people mowing lawns and playing music, and it extracts the audio using AI and it focuses it. So if you've got an AI podcast or a video, check into the tools. There are all kinds of tools now that can do it. Most what happens is as soon as one program comes up with a solution, all the other companies that are doing something similar fight for that. So what a tool might not be able to do today, it'll probably be able to do tomorrow. All right, great question. All right, Michael, was that your question, or I can't remember? Yeah.
No, I have one. So
okay, go ahead.
I've been watching that maybe the applications are what's key here, because this goes back to your point. So if we had your personal home auto insurance, and with Travelers, Safeco, and auto owners, and I want to give you the best reviewed quotes of those three, what application would you suggest that we use for that purpose?
Okay, so initially, what I would do, and I'm going to pull this up on the screen here. Let's go to. Yeah, I got this right here. So I'm going to spotlight myself for just a moment. Okay, so one of the things I recommend, regardless of what tool you're using, make sure you go through the wizard and you set your defaults. Set your defaults, set your privacy settings. Every AI tool has that, which basically says, keep my content private or allow my content to be used to train the large language model. So I want to make sure I cover that first. Next, if I've got quotes from 3 different companies and maybe I'm a broker and I want to try to create a letter, I would use ChatGPT and I would set my privacy settings to say, do not share this content with a large language model. And then I'd upload the content and I'd say, I'm an insurance broker. I've got these 3 quotes. I want you to give me a cover letter on explaining the pros and cons of each of these 3, and that I'm their primary source. Now, I'm not saying this is your role or anything. I'm adding things into this question that you might not have asked, but I would say, I'm an insurance agent. I've got a client. Here's the profile of the client. Here's the personality of the client. We'll get to that in a second. And then I would say, review these 3 quotes and give me the key takeaways from each one. It will absolutely do that. Now, the reason I suggested using the personality is because, all of us have probably been through some DISC profile or Myers and Briggs or emotional intelligence, EQ, IQ, hooked on phonics, whatever. What I would say is AI is a really great tool to help you craft messages based on personality styles. So maybe you're a salesperson for B2B or B2C, or maybe you're a service-based franchisee. You can actually use, so like we've got Dennis, who's a franchisee for 30 years of Windsor. I'll be in Dallas speaking to his company this Friday. He's on the call here. And Dennis is all about customer service. Like he's been in the business for 30 years. He knows his brands. He knows his dealers. He knows all the people. Well, if he was onboarding a new staff person to be an outside sales in a new territory, he could use AI to help that salesperson understand how should he communicate to a shop manager, how should he communicate to the purchasing agent, how should he communicate to an owner, and then it will actually give him different narratives based on the personality style. So the real takeaway here, everybody, is it really comes down to the quality of your prompt, is the quality of your output. And the more you treat it as a person and have a complex conversation versus Google, the way we've all been conditioned to type, find a dentist near me, but you really have to be much more communicative to the AI tool to get the best response out. And so saying hello and goodbye and thank you, not because the AI needs it, not because you want to be nice when AI takes over the world, but you want to do it because it's going to help you be in the frame of mind of treating it like an intern and giving it clear instructions. I mean, my team's on the call today. I've got a few team members, and Patricia's worked with me for 30 years. You know, Patricia, when we're done with the call, she'll pull me aside. Ford. You cannot talk to your staff that way. No, you did not communicate. Ford. Let me tell you. And I get coaching from my best client, right? And so, communication can be tough, and AI can help you learn how to communicate to those different things more effectively, but you have to treat it like that person. So treat it like your staff, but respect your staff, and then make sure you're getting the prompts you want. And when you don't get the first prompt, I'll tell AI, hey, you completely missed it. Start over. And sometimes I'll just start over with a new thread. Make sense? All right, great. I appreciate you guys all being here. We're in here live. If you joined late, there's video that you'll be recording. We are taking notes, but I'm going to go ahead and get the next question from Leanne.
Hey, Ford, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear fine.
So a couple of years ago, or a few years ago, I hired someone on Fiverr to do an intro, like those 10 second intros and yep. Extra. And I'm doing a different online course and basically was taking my logo and play with it. What tool would you use because I'm thinking with all these AI tools, you can just do it yourself instead of having someone on Fiverr.
I am going to tell you, Leanne, I cannot remember off the top of my head. Maybe my staff can type it into the chat. I'm going to show this full screen real quick. But there are tools right now. Let me look at the list that might jog my memory. I'm looking. Don't see it on this one. Let me look at the next page. Hang on. Writing content, Otter, email management. So there's a site right now. I can Google it. Devin, maybe you can Google it real quick and we'll come back. But there's a site right now that you can actually. I signed up for it, Devin, so I know it's one of my paid accounts, which I signed up for a ton of stuff, a ton of resources. So Leanne, where'd you go? Okay, Leanne, you're right in the middle. Okay, so Leanne, there is absolutely a site right now where you can type in a prompt. One way. Okay, so here's one. Let me show you. This is more advanced. I thought of one, but this isn't the one I'm thinking of. But you can go to Runway, and I didn't share with sound, so I'm not going to play the sound. But with Runway, and I am logged in right now, so I can see that I'm logged in under my account. But you can generate amazing video from text. So you can generate videos with text, image, or video, generate audio, lip sync video, remove the background, text to speech. So this is an advanced tool, runway.ai, or runwayml.com. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. runwayml.com. But you can check out Runway. But there are other tools. So if I just type in text to full video using AI. Well, Descript is not the same. Descript doesn't do it that way. VidGen, I think it might have been this one. Generate videos in seconds with AI, introducing the world's first AI and create videos for you. So I think VidGen is one I've played with, and the other one was Runway, and both of those tools can do it. I want to make sure, am I sharing the screen still, Devin? Okay, I am, Patricia, thank you. I'm just trying to find my the button to get back. Here we go. It went to the behind the screen. I couldn't get back to the screen. All right, new to Zoom. Hey. Okay. All right. So thank you. So yeah, Leanne, there's tools like that you can do it now. You don't have to go to Fiverr. I know if you're trying to do a logo stinger, I would use something like Midjourney. But keep in mind, all those people on Fiverr now, guess what they're doing? They're just using an AI tool. I mean,
well, that's what I figured. Even though they charge $20, not a big deal, but
yeah, and so sometimes it's better just to pay the $20 and get it. But but there are tools that you can use that you can do it yourself. It would just take a little bit of research. But if you said to create a logo stinger, because what you're talking about is similar to this. So this was created with AI. I'll play this real quick.
Welcome to Fortify Live with your host, Ford Saeks.
So that whole, whoops, I got to go make sure I'm on the right screen. That's the wrong screen. That whole thing, that audio is all AI. And back when I started this, listen to this. This is actually AI too. So listen to this. Listen to the track.
In a world where business success is constantly redefined, Ford Saeks has helped companies generate over $1 billion in sales worldwide, from startups to Fortune.
So we used AI to do the track, and then we were going to go hire a voice talent. And I'm like, you know what? Voice talent costs $150 to $260. I've been using that AI voice, and that's like 6 months old now, and it's fine. It, done is more profitable than perfect. So, and it also did the outro. So this is all AI too. Watch this.
Thank you for tuning in to Fortify Live. Make sure to like, comment, and share this episode on your favorite social media platform. And don't forget to subscribe to the Business Growth Show podcast, available wherever you.
So again, that's just an AI track. And basically, here's what I did. I went to ChatGPT and I said, I'm the host of Fortify Live and the Business Growth Show. I want you to create a show outro for me that lets them know to like, comment, and subscribe. Boom, ChatGPT gave me the script. Then I took that script and I went and put it into, in my case, I went into murph.com and I got the audio. Then I took the audio track into Premiere because I edit in Premiere because I understand the tool. And then I just put graphics in along to match the audio and my outro was done. Actually, my team did, and then I tweaked it, but that's how it got done. Make sense?
Yeah. Can I ask one more question?
Sure, go for it.
So then the same thing on what tool? I know there's different tools out there for landing pages, like a selling landing page.
To write the copy or to create the whole page?
To write the copy.
I just go to ChatGPT and train it. I would set up your default. So what I would do is I would go in here, go to ChatGPT, come in here to your account, go to settings, and come down here and go through the settings and see what you want there. And you can go to, actually you want to go to your account and go to customize. And then in customize, now mine's blank because I do a lot of work for other companies. So I don't want to tell it who my ideal client is because I'm working with franchise brands and associations and pharmaceutical and B2B and associations. So I leave that blank, but this is where I would customize ChatGPT about my business. And then these are custom instructions in order to, I'm going to copy this and put this into the chat since we are in a meeting environment. I'll put that into the chat as an example. So these are not PCD producer. Here we go. So, and again, I'm not monitoring the chat. So Devin and Crystal, if you see something in the chat, let me know. So those custom instructions that I just copy and paste, you can change them, but then this helps ChatGPT give me better responses because I've filled this out. And then here, do I want ChatGPT to browse? Yes. Do I want it to create images? Yes. Do I want it to write code? Yes. And then enable for new chats. So this is all within ChatGPT in the paid plan. And I only have the $20 plan. I'm not paying for the team version or the enterprise version. If you're a business, you might have the enterprise version. 90% of the time I stay on 4.0. Occasionally I'll use now the new model, but I get some really different responses. So I by no means am I an expert on that, but I just say, use ChatGPT and say, I'm a business owner and I want a landing page. Now here's the key, Leanne. There are people like Russell Brunson and Donald Miller who wrote a book called Story Brand. So you can go to ChatGPT and say, I'm Leanne. I'm a business owner who does this. I want you to create a compelling landing page following this methodology, following Russell Brunson's method, or following best practices from Dan Kennedy or Ted Nicholas or, John Carlton, any other copywriter on the planet. It knows who all these people are. And you can even say, follow the problem, agitate, solve, follow the reason to believe methodology of copywriting. It knows all the acronyms. It knows everything. And it can write in all those styles. So the real takeaway for everybody here is if you think it can do it. You just have to expand your thinking a little bit to say, I now have a team of assistants at my beck and call that can help me do all these things for me. All right, next question, and then I'll go to some make.coms. All right, thanks. All right. Anybody else have a question? Just to bring this up, these are some of the topic areas. I'll pull it up on the screen. Okay, so we have a question from Dusty.
Good morning. We have a ton of blogs and books that we want to put into a database and be able to pull content from. My question is for a company of 3 or 4 people, what version of ChatGPT will allow you to share that database once you upload everything?
Is it just for your internal team, for your small people, or 4 people?
Yes.
Okay, so what I would do is I'd create a custom GPT. I'd come in here and I would go again, we're in ChatGPT, and I'm going to go to Explore GPTs, create a GPT, and I'm going to say internal, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to say, here's what it's going to do. Here's what it's about. Here's what's going to start. And then I'm going to hit upload files. And you're just going to start uploading all the files from your computer. And then when you're done, and then you're going to hit create new action if you want new actions. So you're going to create it in here in the first tab. I actually should have gone here first. You're going to I want to create a database using just my content so that my team can interact with it. And then hit configure. And when you go to deploy it, it's going to ask you, do you want to keep this private? Do you want to put this into the ChatGPT database, or do you want to deploy it publicly? And so that's level 1. There are other tools. In fact, we're looking at one right now for a client that has, 40,000 documents and a bunch of other content, much larger than that. But level 1, I would start with just uploading it to create a custom GPT, name it, and keep it private. And then your team can go and interact with all that content, all your books. Like my GPTs, I didn't show you this. I'll show you this real quick. Quickly is the word. Let's go to. So if we go back out of here. So I have a GPT called the Z Network Navigator. So I wrote a book for franchising. I guess I'll pull this one up. I knew that would fall over. So I've got a book called Accelerate, the Ultimate Guide for Franchisees to Maximize Local Marketing and Boost Sales, right? And so when I speak, can't walk away from the microphone. It doesn't work that way. So I took the manuscript from certain sections and uploaded it and created custom GPTs. So Z in the franchise world means franchisee, a guide for franchisees to network and find leads. So I created this GPT, and if we go in and hit edit, find the edit button here. As it loads, I named it. I gave it the description of what it was supposed to do. I created conversation starters, so I typed these in, and then upload files, and I uploaded my book. So same thing if I go over to the Sales Accelerator, edit. In the knowledge base, you'll see sales content from Accelerate. So I took the chapter, and so when you interact with this GPT, you're just interacting with the training that I've given it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And we can do that without the Teams version. We can do that with the regular version, right?
With the regular version, yeah. You can just create it with the regular version. And you can have unlimited GPTs. So any company, you can go create a GPT. So think about GPTs, like there's custom instructions, and then there's custom GPTs, which are subsets of custom instructions that you don't have to train it again. So like we were talking about earlier, you can just go straight to that GPT and it just remembers everything. You don't have to train it like you do a thread. It already remembers it. And like with Steven, it doesn't hallucinate because it's a GPT. For some reason, it holds the memory better in a GPT than it does just creating a thread.
All right, thank you.
All right. Another question? All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'll watch for the hand, and Devin, you'll let me know if the team says anything. Let's go to a couple things in here that are more advanced, just so I have it on the recording for those people who watch the replay.
You do have a hand up.
Okay, I'll get to that, Devin. Thanks. So before we get in a couple minutes, we're going to go to central.zapier.com, and then we're also going to go in here. I'm already logged in, I think. And then we're going to go to make.com, because I do want to make sure we spend some time on some of the advanced formulas. Okay, just want to get logged in here real quickly. All right, Ed. Hey, buddy. Rainmaker. Edward, what can I do for you? What's your question?
Hey, good afternoon, Ford. Hey, as you know, I do a lot with professional service groups, but I just recently did a RFP, a proposal for a college. It's a group of 5 universities. And now there's a proposal for a school district. When I was doing my proposal for the universities, I said, what are the top 12 challenges they deal with on an ongoing basis to tie it to my leadership program? Now that what I didn't do is make it remember that. So when I go back in there, do I have to start that all over again? Or do I say, change this particular proposal to focus on independent school districts, K to 12, and find out the same information to retweak it? So it takes less than 40 hours to do it.
So there's a couple different tools. I use OneNote and I use Airtable. And OneNote is where I'll create prompts. So once I come up with a prompt that I know really gives me great results, I go back and I save that prompt and put it into a master database so that I can just start over again. Now, yes, you can. There's other ways you can do it with GPTs, but I'm just saying, just from a practical purpose, keep a list of the prompts work. And the key to prompting. So I'm gonna bring this full screen, and then I'm gonna come back and answer your question. So let me go Spotlight and go here. Hit the button here. So effective prompting, talk like a real person, define the task. I'm Ed Robinson. I'm an expert rainmaker. I'm working in this industry and I'm trying to create an RFP that positions me for the winning bid against blah, blah, blah. So give it a task, give it context, identify the audience. Who are you writing it for? Give it examples. Here's an example of an RFP, or give it the RFP itself. Specify the formatting. How long do you want it? Do you want headings and footings and emojis and paragraphs and hashtags? Like, do you want tables? Do you want calculations? Do you want formulas? And then, like we talked about with Steven earlier, which is ask, what else do you need from me to be successful? And then iterate and refine your prompts. And then once you have that prompt, take it into other large language models. Okay, so that's the first part, doing it that way. The second thing is I use the other language models. So my two go-tos right now are ChatGPT and Perplexity. If you're not using Perplexity, use Perplexity, because I can go in here and I just like the output. I know a lot of people are saying that they like it too. But what was the industry that you were dealing with?
The one that I've done already was for universities. The one I'm shifting to is
what's the problem? Top challenges universities for what type of thing?
For developing leaders in their administrative teams.
So then I would say be specific and use validated research. And what stats can you give me? So I'm going to give it, and then it's going to say, okay, I'm going to go through this. It's researching. Based on the research results, I know the research, here are some of the top challenges facing. Lack of system. So then I can say, okay, I'm Ed Robinson. And then I would say, do you understand? So now I'm just going to see, I'm doing this very quickly just to give you guys the concept. And so let's say you had a landing page and you were going to do an email campaign or maybe reach out on LinkedIn and you were going to send them to this page. Attention business leaders, discover how to inspire your team and skyrocket your... Are you struggling? Hi, I'm Ed with over 20 years of helping thousands of executives transform their leadership skills. Imagine if you could do this. Now, write a short VSL teleprompter script with just the script so I can copy paste. It knows what I'm saying. So now I'm going to take the script and I'm going to jump over to HeyGen, log in. And I'll say, rewrite the script. Well, actually, I'll leave it like that. So now I can come in here. And HeyGen's another tool you guys should definitely check into. I'm just going to go ahead and go to, as soon as it loads. A little slow today. Usually it's faster. So basically I can take the script. I'll take it from ChatGPT and I can put the script straight into here. Or so I can use my avatar. So I've got my avatar and I can create instant avatars and I can make me saying that script right here. Without having to actually create the video, or I can actually just create the video, or I can go to Murph, which is a different tool. Again, I'm doing this for the recording so people can see these tools. And let's go to create project and we'll call it Ed our example. And we'll just paste the script in. And now I'm going to have to hit share with sound. Now, for some reason, my machine echoes when I do it, so I'm not going to use my microphone, or it might echo a little bit just because of the setup I have. So, so it echoes. Sorry, everybody.
Let me show you how.
Let's go back up here. Like watching paint dry. So I'm gonna let it think. I'm gonna stop the share for a second. So here's the concept. It'll do the research. It'll do the landing page. It'll write the copy. It'll write the introduction letter. It'll write the cover letter. It'll write social media tweets. It can take that content and create a script. It can create a voiceover. It can create a third-party video. It can do all of those different things all at once just by daisy chaining those pieces together. And once you have a workflow, then you're going to want to go to, let me share my screen again. Turn off the echo. So while that's done, we're just going to go back over here for a second. Let's go back over to make.com. So make.com, we're going to come in here and look at templates. And I'm going to explore some of these templates. So if I knew I was using, like, for example, a lot of experts use Zoho, I could take Zoho in, or I could say I'm using Active Campaign, or I'm using Zoom. Okay. And so I can search for my tech stack by adding in all the different things that I do in my tech stack. And then I can find the templates that are designed. So for example, and you can create your own too. So these are starting places. And so for example, this one, start with a WordPress blog, goes to AI, and it's actually got a little bouncing ball. But you start with WordPress, it connects to ChatGPT, will transcribe your blog, it'll parse the text out, it uses an AI router and creates different formats based on best practices for the different social media programs, and then it can actually create a post on LinkedIn. So you do one post, you set the whole thing up, and it'll run for it. So the takeaway is one of your action steps should be to go to make.com and to practice what is the trigger and what's the response. And you can see in here just some of the popular triggers and actions. Now they have make.com. The reason I like it is that it has over 1,600 and it's visual. Because I'm a visual learner, I like to see how it's all connected together. Zapier will do the same thing if you tell it what you want. So if I go back up here to new assistant, it can help me. You can see in here, we've got different ones that we've used. LinkedIn Company Analyzer. You can use it actually now. Let me go back to Zoom. You can go to Google and type in AI database scrapers. There are Chrome extensions now that can go into a web browser. You can go to a database and you can say, pull the names and emails from this database. You can scrape from LinkedIn. You can scrape from public databases. A lot of us, I know, recognize the names, are part of the National Speakers Association. You can go to nsaspeaker.org and you can log in, and whether it's eSpeakers database or not, you can pull from the chapter sites. You can pull their names. You can pull all this data. So data is data. And what Zapier and make.com do is they allow you to connect different tools together. So first you have to kind of architect out what you want it to do, and then you can use those tools. That makes sense?
It does.
And for you, Ed, if you're switching roles, what I would do, if you're switching, okay, now I want to just copy the prompt and start over with a new thread, but change it to universities, manufacturers, accountants. You know, you do a lot of work in the accounting industry and in finance. Change it to that, but then say, my ideal customer is this. Here, the decision makers are doing this. These are the influencers, not the decision maker. I need them to review the RFP and then qualify me for the finalists. Then it'll write that way. Now, keep in mind, everybody's getting pretty savvy. Their BS detectors are pretty high right now. We can all look at content and tell that AI wrote it. I mean, AI is being used whether we like it or not. If you've got teams or employees, believe me, your employees are already using AI whether you want to use it or not. And so what's really important to think about is to make sure you have best practices for your team. Make sure you have a communication channel in Teams or Slack or somewhere that best practices and wins. Make sure whatever programs you're using at your company, that you have a process for acceptable use so that you know that people aren't going to abuse the program. Because the headlines, I mean, you can just look at a headline and you can see the biggest challenge going forward when organizations ask me about trends, and I don't want to keep this about trends today. I want to keep it more tactical, but the biggest trends going forward was, thanks, Devin. I'll get to that in a second. Thanks for reminding me. The biggest challenge going forward is we're not going to know what's real and what's fake, because, you know, when AI can make it say anything you want. So for example, like this.
Shy attendees. This was 100% created by AI using Ford's voice. I have the power to make him say anything. That's scary. Remember, AI is not just the future, it's the present, radically transforming every industry before our eyes. It's creating unprecedented efficiencies and opportunities. But with this power, we must ensure ethical and inclusive development. Hola, asistentes. ¿Alguien en la audiencia habla español? Este clip también fue creado al 100% por IA usando la voz de Ford.
So you guys have seen that before if you've seen any of my other trainings. But the important, you can make it, and that was 6 months ago.
Wow.
The AI is better now. I mean, I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to know what's real and what's fake. Stay on TikTok for 10 minutes and look at anything political. I don't care which side of the spectrum you're on. You're going to see all kinds of fake stuff. So the biggest challenge going forward is, while everybody's going high touch or high tech, you stay high touch with your customers. You communicate that, yes, we're using AI tools, use transparency, set the guidelines up. Now, back to Devin. Devin said, Ed was asking about using a past proposal to update it for different industry without starting halfway over. Want to make sure you answer his question. Can we all give Devin a round of applause, please? Because she's a rock star for helping stay on track. So basically, Ed, you can take the proposal you did with one, upload it to ChatGPT and say, rewrite this for a different industry, and it'll just do it.
Okay.
You don't
Thanks,
even have to,
Devin.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
That's what's called Long Road to a Tiny House. I could have said that 10 minutes ago. All right. So anyway, that's great. So thanks for the question there. All right. Are you guys finding value? Thumbs up. Are you getting value out of this? I hope. Okay. Because this is a lot different format. So Sam asked, what AI tool did I use to create the video? The tool that I used, everybody, to create these videos with me speaking. So I'm going to click a few buttons in just a second. I'm not going to watch the whole video. I'm just going to show you some examples. Okay. So this video, let's see, find BB. Well, that was not it. So like
I'm
this
back.
video.
Are you taking notes and capturing action steps? I sure hope so, because as Ford says.
So that video was, hey, Jen. This was,
Shy
hey, Jen.
attendees. This was.
You know,
This
there's
was
really
Hey
only
Jen
4
6
ways
months
to grow
ago.
a business. Number one, you want
I'll
more
let this one
clients,
play for
but
just
we
a
don't
minute.
want more clients. We want higher value clients. Número dos, aumentar
So
la
it showed me
transacción
speaking 4
promedio.
different languages. This one. So this is 11 Labs. So this isn't Hey Jen, but 11 Labs is some of the best
Lovell,
speech.
trust a few, do wrong to.
Life without love is.
The thing always happens that you really.
As we are liberated from our own.
Just trust yourself. Government of the.
A single rose can be my garden.
Imagine it's a typical Monday morning. You're rushing to get ready for work, coffee in hand, and your phone buzzes with a notification.
So I was speaking at this topic. I wanted to come up with a better, compelling introduction. I have my signature stories. I uploaded my signature story to ChatGPT and I said, I want something unique. I want it to be in my voice. This is what I talk about. Here's my style. Here's samples of other opening signature stories. Can you help me come up with a narrative that when I use it, it sounds like me? And it came up with the narrative. And then I took that script and I threw it into 11 Labs because I wanted to hear it. We all know if you've done any teleprompt work, you know that when you create a script that you're going to speak, you have to read it out loud. Yes, Devin. I understand, Devin. I have to read it out loud. That's an inside joke. Okay. So a lot of times you'll get a script and it sounds really good when you just read it, but then you try to phonetically speak and it's a lot different. So I used AI to listen to it phonetically to see where I would breathe and how I would use it. So it all goes back to that same concept. If you think it, you can do it. And the tools, again, a lot of the tools, I'm going to put these back up on the screen. Not that, let's go up here. I'll put this full screen just because I want to cover some highlights for everybody for the recording. So large language models, that's where you start at the upper left-hand corner. Processing automation, Zapier and Make.com. Content tools, Canva. I used to not use Canva because I'm like, no, we're an agency. We're only going to use Adobe products. You should see all the things that the great work that my team has created using Canva now. I like Descript because it's video-based information. Audio to text, Murph and 11 Labs, but there are a couple other ones that I've seen are good too. AI-powered video. This was going back to the original question. HeyGen is my go-to. Opus Pro, Synthesia is like PowerPoint with Avatar. Lumen 5, Be Human lets me do customized templated videos. I'm going to name Descript again over there. And then Runway, which we just talked about. And then repurposing content. A lot of people are fans of Cast Magic. I don't have a Cast Magic account because I started using the other tools first, but I've heard a lot of great things about Cast Magic. Again, there's no affiliate links on any of this. You have to do your own due diligence. And then of course, there's text to speech. On the second page, if you're not using some type of AI note taker to transcribe and save you time, that should go at the top of your list. I've listed several of them here. You've probably all been on a Zoom call where Autumn or Fathom joined a call. And Zoom has its own AI tool now too. I like the Plod device or taking the recording into Sonics. For writing, we all want to write original content. Quillbot, Jasper, and Grammarly can help you still remain human so you're not plagiarizing everybody else's content. For email management, I'm playing around with superhuman.com, which is different than .ai. .com is an email client that looks at your email inbox, sorts it, and creates temporary responses to help you respond to your email more quickly. I haven't dug deep enough in it to leverage it, but I did pay for an annual subscription. If you have salespeople, you definitely should check out replay.sale, or the link is an affiliate link, profitrichresults.com/replay-sale. That's down at the bottom. For sales and lead generation, for those of us that are in sales or revenue generating, the data is out there. So I use Seamless. A lot of companies use Zoom Info to help find prospects and find prospects information. Seamless is a great tool. I pay for an annual subscription, and it helps me gather all the details I need to be able to prospect effectively. Then there's replay.io or reply.io, excuse me, not replay, reply. Productivity. I could have added 100 different things under productivity, so please keep in mind I just left a few as it relates to AI. And then AI scheduling assistance. So I use Acuity right now, which is a program that connects to my calendar and Outlook and gives available times. A lot of people use Calendly or Acuity. But now there are these new AI tools that actually monitor your schedule, look at your task list, and figure out the best time of day to do anything. So they're like those other tools on steroids. So yes, Devin and Crystal, that's going to be level 2, which is using AI tools to actually schedule more effective time blocks. So reclaim.ai, getclockwise.com, and scheduler.ai. So we are getting towards the end of the 90 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and continue. I got people here. I'll go ahead and continue. I'll keep the recording going, but I want to make sure that I let people know the basics here. Put this back up on the screen real quickly. So I'll spotlight it. So if you are looking for just a straightforward presentation of the trends, what to do, how to integrate it, how to prompt, as a training, go to profitrichresults.com/AI-thank you. If you're interested in a live presentation, you're on this list, you're going to get solicited to go to the same link you went to sign up for this, but instead of being open office hours, it's going to be the next live training where it's not a Zoom meeting where we ask Q&A, but it's the same link. So that's what I do. But I'm going to stay here and answer questions officially. I know some of you have to jump off. I appreciate you being here. We'll probably go another maybe 5-10 minutes max, and then I'll wrap it up with the closing. But I do want to tell everybody, thank you for being here today and engaging and asking questions. And hopefully you walk away with some practical, tangible, strategic things you can do to remember it's about growing your business, connecting with your customers, saving time, making better decisions, and the speed to iterate is better than the quality of iteration. So fail fast, try, and you're going to be an expert on this in no time. All right, so I'll take some final questions. I know we got people thanking us in the chat. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to stick around. Anybody else has some other questions, or what's a key takeaway, or maybe what's a way that you're using AI now that you found is really helpful for you? I know we got people dropping, but I know there'll be people that will stay. Thanks, Leanne. Okay, Ed, come on in, buddy. So welcome, Ed Rigsby. You're on mute. Still on mute, Ed. Okay. He's going to find it. He'll see. Hey, Milton. How you doing, buddy? So while Ed figures out he's on mute, I'm going to go ahead and talk to Milton.
What's happening, Ford? Great to see you, man.
Hey, buddy. What's up with you?
Been a hot minute, man. All good. Crazy.
Get your second question, Ed. Go ahead.
Yeah. Have a quick question. Ready? Or you want to add to?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So Figma, right? So in the whole organization aspect of landing pages and websites and whatnot, I guess the main question is there an AI platform to organize projects?
Yeah, here's what I would do. I'm going to go in here. And so it depends on what you're using. Like we use Teams, but if you say best AI tools for organizing projects, and Notion is the one that always comes up for me. Now you can see, I'm going to say this too. SEO and AI is going to be obsolete in a few months because the search engines are all now giving AI examples as opposed to websites. So keep that in mind. ClickUp is one that I have. It's coming to the top of my list right now. A lot of people are talking about ClickUp, Asana. So I would look at Notion, ClickUp, and Asana. But there again, if you do just like I did, because the problem is the answer to that question right now is going to be different in 10 minutes when somebody else comes up with it. But what I would do is do not get seduced by the bells and whistles. There's a great book by the founders of Basecamp, which is a project management tool called Rework. And as a strategy guy, I loved it because it talked about less is more, that doing it, having less bells and whistles actually allows better integration than an AI tool that can do everything. So start simple, get complicated later, solve the problem, but don't get seduced by all the bells and whistles.
All right. I guess this is a good example of how I prompted you incorrectly, and my bad on that. I guess what I'm looking.
That's good. That helps us understand. That's what happens with AI too. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I made a mistake in acting my actual question. So here's what I'm looking to do, right? So I'm looking to create a sequence for a project, right? So for example, the little boxes that, hey, if they say yes, then you do this. If they say no,
the flow chart. Okay, the flow.
The flow. There you go.
Okay.
I knew the special.
So then we just change the prompt.
Thanks, buddy.
So we say to organizing projects with the flows, elements, and decisions.
There you go. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. AI knows what I'm talking about. So let's go to HubSpot. I'm looking for the ones that help respond my mind. I think let's go this one. So I look for the date. So one of the ones, one thing that I use is called Flow. What's the one I'm using, guys? Crystal, do you know? It's not Flowchart. Oh man, it's design. Oh, I'm thinking of Design Flow. Can't find it now. Can't find the tool, which is a classic, right? You have the tool, you paid for it. I would spend 10 minutes on Google and I would go look at them. I'd go to Google. I'd start at Perplexity because it's connected to everything.
Is it Monday.com?
Well, Monday will help you do like a Kanban list of what you need to do. Monday.com will do what you're talking about. It's not really AI, but it's a tool to help you organize it. So it depends on what the flow chart is, right? So there's decision making. Like for example, I want to open up a new market. AI is going to help you understand the flow, but once you come up with the flow, then you could say, I want you to put this flow into a visual. What are some of the visual tools that we've used, Devin? Like when we talk about landing pages and things. Remember those?
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'll let you look while you do that. But anyway, Milton, I know it seems like kind of like a BS answer, like, oh, go to Google, but literally that's the best choice. and then do a trial on whatever program you're using. And within 10 minutes, you'll find a program that'll work good for you. Okay.
Man, appreciate you. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for being here. All right, Ed, what's up, buddy?
So I've got a question that probably a lot of speakers and consultants might have. I have a book that I wrote for association execs 10 years ago. And I would like to use AI to update it, upload it to Amazon because it was a book I hard copy printed, and then use AI to write or to create videos to promote it, to push people to that book. So it's basically taking something that I did really kind of an analog way 10 years ago and use AI to update it, put it in the market, and promote it.
All right, perfect.
What would be the approach?
All right, so step one, you're gonna get the original manuscript into text. If it's analog, you can actually upload photos or scans or a PDF of it into an AI tool and tell the AI tool to transcribe it. You need to end up with the raw text. Once you have the raw text, I would go to Claude and I would say, I'm Ed Rigsby. I'm an expert in helping association executives excel and make better decisions. And I want you to review this old book, and I want you to come up with a new book and a new title and new categories, which is timely, topical, and relevant. Do you understand? And it's going to say yes. And then you're going to say, okay, write me let's work on the title and the description, or the title and the subtitle first. Now let's work on the back copy jacket. Now let's work on the introduction. And you're going to have it rework each chapter. Once you have the book created, you're going to go ahead and you're going to turn it into print on demand. And you're going to take that manuscript and hire someone like Prime Concepts or go on to Fiverr or Upwork.com. And you're going to say, take this manuscript and put it into Ingram Spark format, which is the print on demand format to distribute your book on 60 book resellers, including Amazon. So you first redid the content. That's step one. Step two is you published it on print on demand. That's step two. You go to Ingram Spark and you upload the book. And now it goes out to Amazon and everywhere else on the market and allows you to download and buy books or use it. It also can turn it into a Kindle book. So it can be a digital version and a new printed book. Ed Rigsby on Associations 2.0 or whatever the title is. So one, you created the manuscript. Two, you published it. Now you're going to use that manuscript and you're going to say, I want to promote the book. Now that you understand the book, can you help give me a go-to-market plan for positioning the book to help me get on-site consulting and to help sell more memberships into my community, or whatever the outcome is. You have to know what the outcome is. And then AI will take the book content and it'll give you the ideas for that. And it'll probably tell you things like create a lead magnet, create checklists, and so you're going to take the content of the book and you're going to repurpose it to create a bunch of bait that you're going to put in the water, which are lead magnets. AI is going to do all the lead magnets. It's going to format it, create it, and build it. Canva will create it all too. You could even use Canva to create 50 quotes, and you could use make.com to publish those quotes once a month or once a week for 52 weeks. I guess you'd have to do 52 quotes. Now, I know I'm speaking fast, but let me just slow down.
No, I'm writing notes, and I'll probably.
All right, so you got the book. I repeat myself, not for you, for me, right, Crystal, right, Devin? You create the book, you publish the book, then you repurpose the book. You create lead magnets from the book, which are bait, and then you say, well, can you give me some short video scripts that I can record with a teleprompter? Now, I use a teleprompter. Actually, I'll just show you which one I use because I can share the screen. We're doing a meeting here. So this is my secret weapon. It's Elgato. So this little teleprompter sits right above my computer, just like that one there on the screen there. I'll try to pull this in full screen. It sits right up here. And then I can take that script. For example, I'll open up my teleprompter script and I'll show it to you. If I click the right button, which one am I looking for? This one. All right, so here's my teleprompter script. So this was the Julie Lee Fortify that I just did, right? So here's the teleprompter script. And I'm gonna take my webcam and I'm gonna turn it on real quickly. The right plug. Okay. And you can also use a teleprompter on your phone. So you don't even need anything fancy. You can just do it straight off your phone. Let's see if I can get the webcam to work. Webcam, right click, reset. Okay. So here's my setup. There's my office. So here's my main computer. Here's my teleprompter. So all I do is turn it on. In a new world dominated by AI, the human connection has never been more important. In today's episode, we're going to be exploring what AI can't replace and how to infuse connection into your leadership style. So I just do the little recording right there.
Yep.
And let me go back to the webcam for a second. See what button I'm on. Okay, I'm on the so now, and so I run my studio with this little webcam, and it's connected to a DSLR camera, but you can use a webcam with it too. And then I take that content and I repurpose it into short form videos. Or you do what you and I are going to do on Thursday when we pre-record the AI webinar, right? You and I are going to do a webinar for association execs strictly on the power of AI, right? Well, when I'm done with that recording, I can take that recording into repurpose.io, Cast Magic, or Get Munch, and literally it will go through the whole 60-minute, 75-minute in your case, because it's CE credits. It'll go through the whole video, and it'll create Facebook and TikTok and YouTube videos for whatever I want. And maybe it'll come up with 60 different videos. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want those 30, and I want to restart it. So it lets you repurpose the content. So you publish the book, you repurpose the book, you repurpose it in different formats. And to start it, you create a plan in AI that says, I'm Ed Rigsby, I have an old book. Give me a step-by-step plan using the Ford Saeks model of content marketing, because I am known in it. And it'll give you all the steps I just told you, step by step, of exactly what to do. And that brings us to the point, if you think it, you can do it. It's just a lot of times people have tried to do it and they tried to use a certain tool, but they got disgruntled or disillusioned by it. So they stopped using the tool when really the tools are out there and they could really use them. Make sense?
Got it.
Awesome. All right. One more question. Anybody else have another final question? What are some of your takeaways? You can turn your camera on. What is something you're going to go do as a result? So thank you, Douglas. Thank you for being here, everybody. Now, Devin, do we have the landing page done for the sign up yet?
Yes, we do.
So do we know so you're, I'm going to see this live. We'll get your question, Milton, in 1 second. We're going to see what Devin did here. So we're going to go to profitrichresults.com/AI-now. So everybody, Tuesday, October 22nd, AI Innovations, what you need to know now. This will be an improved, updated training. This is not open office hours. It's going to be 1 hour recorded. You can opt in at profitrichresults.com/AI-now. I didn't test all the notes, Devin, to make sure that it's right. But we'll be exploring. Actually, you can leave this on the landing page, Devin, even though that's kind of like the open office hours for that one section. All right, great. So that's good. Okay, Milton, what's your question?
All right. So I am actually hiring a marketing/VA. Is it wise to add as a requisite that they are, I was going to call them a rock star or a superstar when it comes to AI, but is it wise these days to hire someone that's got a good angle on this whole artificial intelligence?
I would say it's not only wise, it's mandatory. You shouldn't be hiring anybody now if they're not literate with these new tools and if they're not skilled at how to prevent the brand damage. So you're going to explain to them, look, I know you're going to use AI, So I expect you to push out more content. So in the past, you'd hire somebody and you'd say, I want you to help me with 3 blogs per week. Well, now it might be 30 blogs a week. Like the metrics that you use, the conditions of satisfaction are going to be higher because they can use these tools to be more productive. So you need to set clear expectations of what you expect from them. How are you going to measure success? What are the key performance indicators you're going to use to help hold them accountable? But they absolutely need to be literate. So you should come up with a list of prospecting questions, and I would go to ChatGPT and I'd say, I'm interested in hiring a VA for marketing. I want them to be literate with AI. Can you give me a list of key questions I can ask that are simple, but help me tell if the person's full of crap or whether they're, whether they know what they're doing? And then ask the questions. Because I got news for you. They're sitting with their browser open. When you ask the question, that participant is sitting there on their phones when you ask a question. And you're going to ask the question and they're going to go, Milton, that's a really good question, as they're typing in, waiting for ChatGPT to come up with the response. So that's why I like to do Zoom interviews. I like to watch their screen. I want to see what they're doing. I want their cameras on. I want real answers. I don't mind if they use the tools, but I need to make sure that they're going to do it. But absolutely, any employee right now on any team, whatever their role is, if you're an executive, you need to set clear expectations for your team. And if you're the team member, then you need to know what do you need to learn. But you can't sit on the sidelines anymore. Okay?
Very good answer. Appreciate you, man.
All right, everybody. I don't have a conclusion, so I'm going to play my Fortify outro just to end it, and then no, I won't. I will do that. Let's go to Spotlight for everybody. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. I really appreciate everybody being here and participating. And make sure you tune in to Fortify Live. This was not Fortify Live, but tune in Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Central. I have experts and brand owners sharing key elements, and then we'll outro it with this.
Thank you for tuning in to Fortify Live. Make sure to like, comment, and share this episode on your favorite social media platform. And don't forget to subscribe to the Business Growth Show podcast, available wherever you get your podcast streaming fix. We air weekly at 11 a.m. Central Time. So until next week, keep pushing the boundaries and never stop growing.